Yes, yes. Welcome to the Week 9 spreads, a special birthday spreads for my co-host Mike. Hope you're going to be tucking some spreads and hoping some good luck comes your way today, Mike.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope I get a full house on my birthday weekend. There's
Yeah,
no excuses not to. So yeah, hopefully the fates will be with me to improve
yeah.
on what has been a pretty patchy season, to say the least, Thomas. I think we're both comfortably under 50% now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we need something to go our way here. Let's just have a look here at the spreads so far, how the overall standings fare so far. Can you
Goodness
see?
me. Yeah,
So here we go, 39% for me, 47 for you, still going pretty well, but yeah, we haven't been over 50%, Mike, collectively since week three. Really indicative of how this year's going. Hard to pick some of these games with some teams just falling off a cliff early on in the year.
yeah. No, I think it's I think we were saying earlier in the season there was quite a bit of parity, but actually, I think what we've seen is the depth of the rosters showing
Mm.
its showing itself to be a bit of an issue because some of these teams have just completely fallen apart when injury have struck. You think particularly of like the Ravens, the Bengals, few
Yeah.
others you can name. So yeah, it's made some of these games incredibly one-sided, and there's some big lines, and I'm struggling to know where to go on them. But we'll have a look at this week's, see if we can decipher it.
Yeah, for sure. For teams front loading the rosters and then not really
Yeah.
having much when those players get injured. It's yeah, players just seem to want more and more money though, so maybe that is a factor. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they'll increase the salary cap to
Mm.
try and keep up with that, but yeah, it's when you pay the quarterback, it's an absolute nightmare, seemingly. Apart from I don't know, the Eagles seem to be getting away with it somehow. I don't understand how that cap management works for them, though. It's extremely complicated. We're not going to get into that. Um, right.
Should we start?
So,
Oh, there we go. You got it up. The Thursday game, the
yeah.
fateful Thursday game.
Well, we picked one, so we're off to a good start. My 100% birthday weekend is still on, still
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, I mean, we just thought the Ravens are going to roll. I texted you and I said the Ravens are going to roll them here. I thought the 7 points probably wasn't even enough. And yeah, really called that one nicely. The Dolphins just bereft of any confidence at the moment. Coming off a good win last week, but back to form here as Lamar comes back for the Ravens.
Yeah. No, I think, well, like, obviously, we'll see. But you'd think McDaniel, the writing's on the wall for him there, is really struggling. Um,
Yeah, yeah, for
really
sure.
struggling in Miami, and it's though when they get Lamar back healthy, that wasn't really a fair fight. Although you'd have expected them to put up more than 6 points against that depleted Ravens defense. So yeah, a lot of pressure on the Dolphins. Um, right, so Falcons at Patriots, and obviously the Patriots are absolutely flying.
Mm.
Interesting. This who's going first? I believe did I go first last time?
Yeah, I think I'll jump in because I've got
Yeah,
a strong feeling on this. I think
yeah.
I'm going to take the Patriots to start, and I think I'm going to be backed up pretty well there because I was looking since week one, the Patriots have covered every spread they've been on, including as favorites. They've covered as favorites in the last few weeks when they've been favored. So I'm going to bet on this run to continue. The Falcons, I think you said before, you really can't trust the Falcons. And I thought this line might be a little higher with the Dirty Birds having to travel outdoors there to what will be pretty chilly New England these days. So, yeah, this is quite a comfy Patriots cover for me here.
Yeah, obviously the Falcons get Michael Penix back. I mean, well, we
Mm.
actually saw. I was speculating over whether it was time to have a look at Kirk Cousins. We had that look last week when he filled in for the injured Michael Penix, and doesn't really look like Cousins has got anything left. So they're going to have to roll with Penix here. And what you get with Penix is extremely up and down play,
Mm.
and a Falcons defense that's just kind of middle of the pack. Really, I don't really think they're going to give Drake May too many issues. The Bills put up a huge amount of yards and then committed terrible turnovers in the red zone. I just don't think I don't think the Patriots are playing that way at the moment. I don't think they're making those silly errors. So especially not away, not at home for the Pats. And I've backed the
Yeah.
Pats all season. Famously backed them early on when they weren't favored. So I should definitely stick with them. So I'm going to go to the Patriots here as well.
Yeah, I mean they had that one. The week one was the bit of anomaly. They lost to the Raiders, but then since then it's been cover central for the Patriots. Been
Yeah,
riding
yeah,
all.
that's only game the Raiders have won, I think, isn't it? What a weird outcome that was.
It's bizarre. Yeah.
All right, Niners at Giants. Interesting. Niners are a 2-point road favorite. Purdy is questionable. Oh no, Mac Jones will start. As I keep saying, I don't think that's a. I think probably Purdy will be an improvement when he comes back, but I don't think. I think Mac Jones might be positioning himself as the best backup quarterback in the NFL at the moment. So that doesn't worry me too much. I think I'm quite happy to take the 49ers here. The Giants got a bit of a boost when the Dart came in, and nobody had seen him or Scatterboo on tape, and they really got the offense, sparked the offense. The Giants' defense is always pretty competitive. They kept them in that game against the Eagles last week for the first half, but then just couldn't hold on under sustained Eagles pressure when the Eagles forced the turnovers and forced the punts from the Giants' offense. The
Mm.
Niners are obviously depleted, but I think they can force enough punts, and then their offense will score enough points, or they'll win this game by more than by a field goal or more. So yeah, I'm happy to take the Niners 2.5 here.
Yeah, nice. I think we backed the Niners last week and they disappointed. Yeah, they got thumped by the Texans last week, actually.
Very weird. I didn't. Obviously, that was a
Mm.
close. You know that the Texans are have a decent roster, but I'm surprised it was that one sided. Actually, I have to confess.
Yeah. Well, so they're at Houston. Now they go to at New York. I'm going to take the Giants here to get a road cover. I think even with a Scatterbo injury, I don't really think I'm too worried about that. Tyrone Tracy will come in. He's a functional NFL starter. I'm just going to keep backing the dart train to keep rolling here. I think the Giants' strength is their front four or five as they rotate guys, and I think they'll crush everything the Niners have got going on their offensive line and just make this into a real bog fest, and then just back Dart to make a few wonder plays. Yeah, I quite like the Giants here actually.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, a bit
Dart, good
different.
numbers. Good touchdowns with deception numbers. Although I will say he threw a couple of moon balls against the Broncos that should have been picked off
Mm,
in the fourth quarter. He got lucky there.
yeah.
Um,
His legs have been the surprising factor actually.
yeah, yeah. Because you watched we watched that all 22, didn't we? Of him at Ole Miss, a couple of
Mm,
games, I think, maybe 3 games, and you could see he's very mobile. But I wouldn't have thought you'd be
yeah,
designing QB runs for him in the NFL. So it's a bit of a turn
mm,
up for the books there.
yeah. Oh, Nelly.
Oh, Nelly.
Would you believe this is not the biggest spread of the week? Carolina going to Green Bay, 13.5 point underdogs. Ah, I could see this being like a 20-3 win for the pack. Honestly, I see the Panthers really struggling to move the ball here. They're just in one of these funks, the Panthers. It's a big spread though. The Packers were really ruthless against the Steelers, I have to say, on Sunday Night Football. They look a very complete team. I'm just going to keep backing the Packers. I think I've taken them on a few of these big spreads and they've come through for me this year, so I'm just going to keep rolling with them.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers too. Normally, I'd fancy the Panthers to make this a little bit interesting because they tend to do that when the pressure's off. They just sort of
Mm.
come out and give it their best shot.
Yeah.
But obviously, with Bryce Young still being injured, and now Andy Dalton has broken a finger on his throwing hand as well.
Oh,
So yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to throw it more than 15 times in this game. Given that and the state of the Packers defense at the moment, and they're getting healthier on offense as well. They got Christian Watkins back.
mm,
They got a few people coming back. So yeah, I'm going to take the Packers here as well. But it is a huge line for the NFL. Quite surprising how big the line is.
it's big. Yeah. Is Dalton playing then, or have they got down to their third
Yeah,
string?
no,
Oh, he's gonna.
Dalton is going to play, I think, but he's got broken finger on his throwing hand, so God
Oh,
knows what that's going to look like. Um,
goodness.
so Chargers at Titans,
Another big one.
yeah. I mean the the Chargers. I don't know. That offensive line is so banged up. But then again, Jeffrey Simmons is banged up for the Titans, so they might not even be able to take advantage of that with their best player. Is he in? No, he's out with a
Ooh.
hamstring. So Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here. I don't think a Harbaugh coach team, as much as I disdain them, I don't think they'll take the Titans lightly here.
Hmm.
I think they'll show up and give it their best. Herbert's playing pretty well this season. They've really just been struggling with injuries on the offensive line, and as I say, I don't think the Titans are going to be able to take advantage of that in this game. So I'm happy to take the Chargers here.
Yeah, the Titans getting thumped last week by the Colts. They couldn't cover 14 and a half last week against the Colts. Um, I was saying to you last week, I was glad they're getting Tajay Spears a bit more involved. I think he's probably the future there instead of Pollard. See Pollard not averaging 4 yards a carry. Um, at some point, I feel like Titans have got to start covering some of these spreads. I'm just going to take a real gamble on them as we should do because we're obviously picking spreads. But I'm going to take a gamble on the Titans to cover the 9.5 at home. Listen, they've got to turn it around at some point. And new coach, interim coach, so maybe they'll get a bit of a boost and play a bit free. The Chargers have kind of disappointed me actually after their strong start to the year. They've stuttered a little bit in the last month. So I'm going to take the Titans.
Nice. Oh,
Oh,
internet struggling today. So
we go to a
Vikings
fun game.
at Lions. This actually is a good game because JJ McCarthy is going to play, I think.
Yeah, they need
Actually,
that.
that actually does add an element of intrigue to this.
Yeah. Yeah, would have been maybe a 3-point spread had the Vikings not really fallen apart in the last few weeks, starting with that ill-fated trip to Dublin. You have to think maybe the two games internationally didn't serve them well, even though they beat the Browns. They probably should have lost that one as well. With all that being said, I'm going to take them to cover here in the divisional game against the Lions. I've really been enjoying the Lions after I doubted them early on. They've gotten to their flow here nicely, but I just think these teams see a lot of each other, and historically the Vikings keep it close against them. The Lions do strike me as a team who could potentially underestimate other teams sometimes, and 8.5-point favorites. That's quite a lot. So I'm going to side with the Vikings here, although. Yeah, we'll see what McCarthy looks like. That could yet be a organizational bust for the Vikings.
Yeah, these teams matched up. Did they match up in the playoffs last year, or was it just a week? It was the final week decider of who was going to be the number one seed, was it?
Final week decided that was it. Yeah, and
Felt
didn't
like
the
a playoff
Vikings
game.
pull it out?
Yeah, it felt like a playoff game, but wasn't. In that game, the Lions really got right against the Vikings.
Mhm.
Defensive scheme had been giving Goff a lot of problems. Obviously, he does his one weakness really is when you can get pressure on him. So they'll be looking to heat him up. But I think Goff they've got a better job of just picking that fire zone apart.
Mm.
I'm just wondering here is if the Lions can get up by 14 points, would the Vikings realistically with McCarthy at quarterback be able to do anything about that? I guess they
Yeah,
do have Addison back. McCarthy didn't have Addison and Jefferson last time he played. I'm go. I don't know. I'm going to take the Vikings just because it's a huge line for a divisional
yeah,
game.
yeah. It
Um,
is.
and yeah,
I know what you mean. Though. I don't feel confident about it.
no, I could say, yeah, because I mean, you see from this headline here on the Athletic, like there's going to be quite a lot of uproar. If the Vikings go down to 3-6 here. There's going to be quite a lot of
Yeah,
pressure. Um, with all the QB trading they've done in the last few years, it's a very unorthodox approach. So they kind of need McCarthy to get it going pretty quickly here.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I just think the Lions will have too much. I think they could pace them a little bit.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Speaking of
Well, we won't spend too long on this one, I'm sure. Good Lord.
yeah, it's me to go first, isn't it? I
Oh boy.
think,
Hmm.
yeah, Flacco's injured now.
Oh dear.
He's sprained his AC joint. I thought I'd seen that in his throwing shoulder. Um,
Is he
so
still going to play?
yeah, he's going to try and play through it. I think so. I'm going to take the Bears here. They had a really bad loss to the Ravens last week, which must really stick in their craw because Lamar Jackson wasn't playing, and that defense is really short-handed. So I'm not quite sure how they managed to get so badly dismantled on offense. The Bears. I do have that all 22 available to me, but I haven't watched it yet.
Mm.
Should really watch that before I pick in this game. But I'm gonna say the Bears win here on the road. I think you might end up seeing some Jake Browning in this game, and the Bengals defense. Quite frankly, Justin Fields lit the Bengals defense up to the tune of over 200 yards and some
Yeah.
rushing touchdowns last week. So I think Caleb Williams and this offense, Ben Johnson, they should be able to have a 30-point day. You'd have thought that should be too much for the Bengals.
Yeah, that's a good point. Their defense has been the most disappointing aspect of the Bengals this year, getting rid of their old DC Anarumo, who's having a lot of success here. So, in Indy, so you'd think it would tend to be the actual players they've drafted who aren't performing, and
Well,
maybe
when you
over.
spend like half of your salary cap on a quarterback and two receivers, it does mean you struggle to sign defensive linemen of
Yeah, and then
any
also
kind.
paying a defensive lineman as well
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
the end. So I mean, that's what we're talking about. They've really front loaded, and yeah, as soon as they face a little bit of jitters, they seem to just disappear. This Bengals team, I would take the Bears. I agree they bad loss last week, but this Bears team is kind of like a win one, lose one team to me at the moment. So that's why I like this one. They'll just come in here and win by a field goal, I think, or maybe a little bit more.
Nice. All agreed on that one. As I frantically fill time while the thing loads. All right, so Colts at Steelers.
Oh, well, I've got quite a strong opinion on this, Mike. I don't know how the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to stop the Colts here. This could be a 40-point game for the Colts. They've just got way too much with Jones and Taylor in the backfield there, and Michael Pittman also reminding us he's a number one receiver in the NFL, despite having some poor QB play. He's really come to town. And I think that the Colts are just rolling too much. Part of the Steelers' problem last week, as we discussed, was their tackling, and that doesn't bode well when you've got Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, so some large men there running at you. So yeah, I'm going to take the Colts to win this by a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Colts as well. I was a bit on the fence, but you've kind of talked me into it. I mean, I was going to point out that how badly the Steelers' defense has been struggling.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, well, obviously it's highlighted here in this article. I just don't think they'll be able to. They want to play a lot of man coverage, but you'd obviously advise against it against the Colts because I don't think the Steelers have any linebackers that can cover Warren.
mm,
Or Jonathan Taylor in man coverage. It's not so much about the defensive backs who are not playing well as it is. I just don't know how you'd cover everybody else in man on that
yeah.
Steelers roster. So yeah, I think the Colts could have a good day here, and I feel like the Steelers are after a better than expected start. I think they're coming back to the pack a bit here. They're going to regress, and will as you and I were discussing earlier. I think the Ravens will storm back and take the AFC North title when it's all said and done. Um,
Yeah, looks a bit predictable there, unfortunately.
yeah. Um, I was surprised they did get off to a good start. The Steelers they won some games that I thought they had no business
Yeah.
winning, but yeah, I think they might have cooked their goose there.
Yeah.
Um, right, Broncos at Texans.
Game of
Texans
the
are a
week
one and a
contender.
half point favorite.
Yeah, this is a
Interesting.
sneaky one. Yeah, you to go on this one.
Yeah, I bet you're happy for me to go on this one. Um, yeah, this is a really weird line. Um, I guess I guess the bookmakers are kind of where I am on the Broncos, where you've got to respect a 6-2 football team, but I'm not really sure they are a 6-2 football team.
Mm,
I think the wins against the Eagles and the Giants were both incredibly streaky and could have gone either way, those games.
yeah.
But for some awful refereeing in the Eagles game and just some blind luck against the Giants and that deflected touchdown, etc. So yeah, although the Broncos defense against that Texans offensive line should be an absolute nightmare.
Mm,
God, Just for fun, I'm going to take the Texans. I want the Texans to win, so I'm going to take them because it would make the AFC more interesting if they win. So I'm going to take the
Yeah.
Texans. As I don't have a real feeling on it, I'm just going to go with what I can actually root for on Sunday.
No, I thought you might take that, and I'm going to differ. I'm going to take the Broncos because as underdogs, they've covered every spread this year. It's when they're made favourites that this team stutters, which kind of says a little bit about this Broncos team at the moment. But yeah, going in as an underdog, I'm just going to back the form here for them to get another cover and make that 100% on the year. Um, yeah, I think they'll match up pretty well against the Texans, and yeah, looking forward to that game. It should be a good one. Mm, yeah, not much more to add.
Very thoughtful approach on that
Oh,
one there. Really taking it all in.
no,
Uh,
you know what I was going to mention? I forgot. I was going to say that article about Mercedes Lewis playing his 20th NFL season. That's a
it's
good man of
ridiculous.
7 stalwart there, Mercedes
Yeah,
Lewis.
still run blocking people out of the building with his 65 run block. But
Brilliant.
uh, uh, so yeah, Jags at Raiders. Uh,
Oh God, I got to go. Um,
a child only
well,
a mother could love here.
yeah. Goodness. Um, Okay, so I'm going to take the Jags just to win this by a field goal. I think they have just enough talent on the roster to beat the Raiders, who really need to examine some of their roster construction here as we get into the Pete Carroll era. I think you can turn that around, but a lot of kind of vacant players on this Raiders team at the moment. I'm going to say the Jags just because I think they've got a bit more talent and a bit more gumption about them. Although I can easily see the Raiders pulling this one off. I think 2.5. You're kind of just happy to take the field goal win here for the Jags.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags as well. I agree. I think the Raiders are sort of showing signs of being a little bit in free fall. That game against the Chiefs was just embarrassing.
Yeah,
Um, and I think Gino might be on the way, sort of the way out. He's ended up having a very solid career, Gino Smith. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't think there's enough talent on this roster to help him overcome the kind of bad situations they put him in. So I'm going to take the Jags here. Interesting note on the Jags. Travis Hunter's gone to IR now for a few weeks,
oh,
and that I actually think that might be in a way that could be beneficial because they're not going to worry about getting him the football. They're just going to get it in Brian Thomas Jr.'s hand as often as possible,
yeah,
which does seem to be the best policy. Uh, so yeah, that might kickstart his season a little bit.
yeah. That's interesting for sure.
Just play Hunter at cornerback. Jesus, what are they doing? Um, Chiefs at Bills. Obviously, absolutely stunned. This is not on Sunday Night Football. I bet Chris Collinsworth can't believe it. He must be up in arms. Um,
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of consensus here that the Chiefs get all the primetime games in among most people in America. So that would only further that narrative. I mean, to be fair, I don't know why Chiefs Commanders was the Monday night game.
no,
That would
that
be
was
that's not really a Monday night game anyway. Even if the Commanders have Daniels. So yeah,
yeah.
that was a funny one. But yeah, probably just some parity here. Put them on the late schedule here. And yeah, this is traditionally a tough game for us. We like getting the Bills in the playoffs so we can get them at home because our record's always better than theirs. But we've struggled going to Orchard Park in recent years. Chiefs 1.5 point favorites have been looking good. I'm going to take the Chiefs in a rogue cover here, just because the offense is really getting into gear here. As a lot of people predicted it would, to be fair, but the players still have to make the plays, and Rice and Worthy, even getting some play out of Hollywood Brown, which has surprised me. I think it's just too much for this Bills, whose weakness has consistently been their secondary, and it could be the worst I've ever seen this secondary look. So I think Mahomes will be licking his lips here. And Spags can do enough to just contain Allen, and the Chiefs will win. And what I think could be a high scoring game, actually. I'll look for the over on the total.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I agree with all the points you made on the offense. Really enjoying this offense now they've got all their main pieces back. I still think they've got the rookie Royals to come back as well at receiver. So really starting to add some elements to this Chiefs offense. It was just fun to watch. Rashid Rice taking wildcat snaps out of the
Yeah.
gun was a particular highlight for me. Yeah, I agree. The Bills secondary is aging. They still want to play a lot of man coverage, cover one. And you went there in the playoffs last year, the Chiefs, and picked them apart in Orchard Park, playing that way. I think the Bills, interestingly, they want to get into heavier personnel and run the ball more. That's been their emphasis coming off the bye week. Do you want to do that? Because the Chiefs like to play their three linebackers. They're happy being in heavy sets. They don't
Yeah.
mind. You'd really want, ideally, you'd like to be able to spread the Chiefs out a little bit and try and get some of those linebackers off the field. So
Yeah.
I think everything is kind of just coming up Chiefs here. I'm happy to take the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's that linebacking core really becoming solid, and they're probably
Yeah,
their fifth year together now. It's quite remarkable, actually.
yeah, really bucking the trend there, paying middle off ball linebackers instead of paying defensive backs. It's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, Obviously, just play zone every snap. uh, right, Seahawks at Commanders. Well, Daniels is obviously playing.
yeah.
Uh, if with this, obviously, this line would be monumental if he wasn't.
McLaurin ruled out though.
Yeah, McLaurin ruled out. Obviously, with Mariota at the helm, the Commanders got fairly thrashed by the Chiefs. I don't think this will be a thrashing with Daniels back. Um, but the Seahawks, since is it Mike McDaniel? What's his name? The coach. It's something. I always get him confused with the Dolphins one. It's not McDaniel's. It's something
Oh,
like
Mike McDonald. That's it.
McDonald. There you go, McDonald. Yeah. Um, since he took over, they've had a phenomenal record on the road. The Seahawks. It's
Hmm.
actually been at home where they've really struggled, going
Hmm.
less than 50% on the win rate. On the road, they've been almost flawless. So
Interesting.
I'm going to take them here. I think the Commanders are in a bit of a free fall. Actually, Dan Quinn won't get fired this season, but I think they'll have to overhaul that roster. As we've pointed out a few times, it's a very aging, veteran-laden roster, and I think they're going to have to clean house a little bit. I think the Seahawks take this one. I've been impressed with them this season.
Yeah, no, their defense definitely showing they can travel well. Um, I think it could be a little feisty here in Washington on Monday night. It's a must-win game for them. I think that crowd there always feels like they're kind of on top of you. It might be a bit of a tough place for the Seahawks to go. We can test this away theory. I'm going to differ here and just take the Commanders to get a must-win here. With Daniels back, hopefully running the ball a bit better. Their rookie running back's been impressive. Yeah, I'd hope they wouldn't just lay down and take a throttling here again, the Commanders. So I'm just gonna buck the trend and take a risk here and get them to cover. I might I might take about 3.5, and you can take the Hawks at two minus 2.5, just so we get a result here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll be really interested to watch actually what they do, the Commanders schematically, because the Seahawks love to play with two tight ends or two backs on the field at all times. And
Mm,
obviously, Dan Quinn wants to play a majority of the game in dime and
mm.
play funky fronts. But if he does that, I think they'll just run it down his throat like the Eagles used to do or still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he responds to that. Um,
Yeah. Be good to see Kenneth Walker kick on a bit. He hasn't really lit things up. It's too
no,
much.
he doesn't seem like a fit for that offense. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, whenever they have to have it pass protection or catch to a running back, they go to Charbonnet, don't they? Which does
Yeah.
limit Walker's touches, which is a bit of a shame because I enjoy watching him run. But you've obviously
Great.
got
Yeah.
you've got to be able to do all three phases to start in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, Cardinals at Cowboys. God, this Cowboys team is weird.
Yeah,
Uh,
very weird. Goodness.
what a strange team
Um,
they are.
but historically, one of my most famous covers ever when I took the Cardinals in about 2010 to go into Dallas on Christmas Day and get a rogue 7 point cover. I think they were 7 point underdogs. It was one of my first bets on the NFL that game, so I have fond memories. However, it's a different story today. I think the Cowboys are just a much better football team than the Cardinals. The Cardinals can be a bit Jekyll and Hyde, so I'd expect them to be competitive here. But I've actually been impressed with what I've seen from the Cowboys. I mean, defensively, they just have to try and limit the explosives and then just rely on their offense. And what would be probably an MVP season at the moment from Dak. You could say Baker's up there as well, but I think the Cowboys just kind of have too much for Gannon's defense here, and a bit of a coronation at home for them here on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Cowboys. This is the kind of game they'll win this season, where they they will get some gifts from Arizona on offense when Arizona play offense, and that gives Dak extra possessions and he'll put them away. It's the number one offense in football, really, across most metrics. So they'll finish like 9-8, 8-9, the Cowboys, and they'll lose games where the opposition can put up points. But
Yeah.
when the opposition's struggling on offense, the Cowboys should beat them up because they're far too good on offense for most teams.
Yeah, for sure. I got the line at 2.5 here. Maybe let's just monitor this and we can see what it is at game time, and then we can take what is at the time of the game because
Yeah,
two and a
obviously
half is actually
we'd be
very
thrilled
comfortable.
with 2.5. Yeah, so if that
Yeah,
holds, we'll take that.
yeah, yeah, nice.
Brilliant. Okay, well that's I think that's all of them, isn't it? I normally it's Monday Night
Oh,
Football, yeah. So I definitely
oh,
didn't miss.
sorry. No, we have missed one.
Uh,
We've got New Orleans at the Rams. I mean, it's not much of a game, but we got to pick it.
I just don't
Uh,
know how I miss these sometimes. I
maybe they
don't.
got.
Oh, there it is. There
Oh,
it is.
there it is. Yeah, yeah.
God, just didn't even see that.
No, that's all right.
My bad.
No,
Okay.
this is the biggest spread of the week. It's
Oh, you
awful.
were keen to pick this one. It's a monster.
It's a real it's the green monster of the spreads. This one. I don't know. Uh, God, did I? No, I think sorry. You go actually because I picked the last one. I'll let you tangle with this one, Mike.
The Rams trading for Roger McCreary. Um, so I think no, they're going to play Shook, aren't they?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're going to play Shook. Yeah,
He
and
showed he showed a little bit last year, like last week. Sorry, coming in.
yeah, he moved it. You have to wonder how much of that is just the opposition just sitting back and just not feeling threatened by him at all, uh, giving him those easy
Mhm.
underneath completions. I don't think the Rams will do that from the outset of this game. Have the Rams really battered anyone this year? I don't think they have. Uh, is Nakua playing?
Um,
As always he's on the injury report. He's never healthy. He's never
yeah,
100% Nakua.
no, the Rams beat a bad Baltimore team when Lamar was injured.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did beat the Colts as well. I'm just going back through some of the old spreads here, but
Well, they have
yeah,
been good, Rams. Obviously, they're 5-2. They're a good team.
yeah. But then they've played the Titans as well, so maybe their schedule hasn't been the hardest so far. You
I mean,
can
they
see,
played the Eagles,
yeah,
which is obviously a
and they
tough.
didn't cover.
No, they did not.
Hmm.
I'm. I have no feeling about this one. I'm gonna take the Saints. I was
Yeah.
backing them earlier in the year with Rattler because they did manage to keep some games closer, I think, than expected off from memory. Got me some covers, so I've got no faith in Shook really. I wasn't a big fan of his college tape, but yeah, we'll just see how he does and just hope. From my perspective, just hope they can keep the score down here. Uh, the point differential down here against the Rams. The Rams trading for Roger McCreary as a good addition to their secondary. They're rounding into a
Hmm.
real NFC threat to the Eagles here.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, it's fun to watch them, honestly, although this game will be a stinker. I'm going to take the Rams. I've already gambled on one terrible NFL team. That was the Titans to cover.
Is you
Uh,
can't do both.
no, I can't do both. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm going to take the Rams, just throttle them here, and maybe put Kellen Moore on the hot seat. I don't know. It's not going well.
Well, I mean, they didn't really give him much to work with, but
No, it didn't. No.
but it's a good point. We all know that's not how it works. If he goes 1-16, they'll probably fire him. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, all right, cool. Well, that's all of them. We've
Yeah.
rattled through those. We Spencer rattled through those.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, it's time for you to get yourself a well-earned birthday drink. You've done a good session of the spreads here, Mike. Get yourself
Yeah, thank you. You got to earn your beers. Yeah, for sure.
get on the
All right.
booze.
All right. Well, go well.
Yeah, go well. We'll reconvene next week.